All right, welcome back. Now, Governor Ben Ayade of Cross River State has finally broken his silence now on the continued detention of journalist and rights activist Agba Jalingo, who is facing treason charges now in that state. Jalingo, the publisher of Cross River Watch, was arrested in August last year over a report alleging that Ayade diverted 500 million naira belonging to the state. Actually. The governor, in an attempt to clear his name, accused Jalingo of blackmail, adding that the journalist's arrest and trial is in connection with Omoyole Showore's Revolution Now protest. Ayade also made some interesting revelations, like how he has offered and is still offering financial assistance to the journalist and working tirelessly to secure his release from Calabar prison, where he's been remanded. Jalingo's side has actually responded, I must say, debunking everything that the governor said, and of course, asking the governor, of course, to prove some of what he said. Now, don't forget, the governor was actually speaking after he went to pay President Buhari a visit, and after that visit, journalists decided to accost him, and that was when he opened up, or that was when he actually broke his silence on this issue. Let's just quickly take a listen to some of what the governor said.
Agba Jalingo is the state chairman of Showore's party. You impugn my father's name, my character, my family name, for just a personal request that you have not met, out of many that I have met. Please, for once, put yourself in my shoes. All I simply did was to stay out of the issue. He is in court for treason. A state does not have power to try somebody for treason. It's not me. Agba Jalingo is not a journalist. Agba Jalingo is the chairman of a political party. And so once he started the campaign to overthrow the government of President Buhari, he ceased to be seen from the point of a journalist. Please ask Agba Jalingo, that Cross River Watch, the first person to give him money to set up the office is myself. The vehicle, the official vehicle, is myself. I don't want to list all of those. He knows that I have funded him and have supported him. But journalism stops when blackmail becomes part of your strategy. Today you need something. Ayade is a good man. You write all the good things. But if I was to take my phone and show you our WhatsApp communication, you will tell me I'm a man sent from God.
All right, I still have Libros Oshoma all the way from Abuja with us on the program. Libros, you heard what the governor said. What's your take, very quickly?
I expected that being a governor of a state and a leader, I expected the governor to be a little bit honorable. But he has also displayed, one of the qualities of Nigerian politicians, lack of honor, lack of truth. I had cause to speak with Agba Jalingo in Calabar, and the same governor that is saying he has nothing to do with the incarceration of Agba Jalingo was busy sending emissary. In fact, they did prepare an agreement that Agba Jalingo should sign in prison, that he will no longer criticize the governor. And he refused to sign. And that also, that once he signs that agreement, they will let him off the hook. And if he has to do with the Omoyole Showore's trial, why is it not the DSS that is trying Agba Jalingo? Why is it that is the police in
and of course, the charge in court, initially the charge in court was that he was plotting to topple the Cross River State government.
Cross River State government. All of a sudden now it is toppling Buhari's government in Calabar. I don't know when the headquarters of Nigeria or the
and then the issue, because the governor actually alluded to the protest Jalingo took part in Lagos here. I mean, that protest took part in Lagos. Now, if you were to go by the law, he was supposed to have been tried in Lagos and not whisked away to Cross River State anyway.
Exactly. So if Jalingo, who was in Lagos, was planning to topple the Buhari administration, and then he ought to have even been tried in Abuja with Omoyole Showore, or tried in Lagos where he participated in a protest, and not any publication that it's related to his Cross River Watch that is domiciled in Cross River State in Calabar. And so that's why I expected the governor to be honorable. And these are lies, and at the end of the day, all of this shall come to pass. the truth shall always prevail, no matter how far falsehood runs. But what is basically playing out is that it is obvious that the governor, the situation is gradually or has caught up with him and is looking for an opportunity to exonerate himself.
And he keeps referring to Jalingo as his brother.
Of our politicians. We also, quickly, DEJI, we also tried to reach out to some of the governor's friends, and they told us, well, just tell Agba Jalingo to apologize to the governor. These were his friends, people who were very close to him, that he should tell Agba Jalingo to apologize to the governor and all will be okay. And yet the governor sit down there to say that the Agba Jalingo is trying to topple Buhari's government. I think because they know that the once you link Buhari with anything, because the president has a massive followership, and so people that are sympathetic to Agba Jalingo's cause,
but this will certainly not fly, and it's not flying.
It definitely is not flying, because a lot of people had, even critics of President Buhari's government, have said, well, the DSS had obeyed court order in the case of Omoyele Sowore. Why is it that the judge in Calabar and the state government in connivance with the police are also not wanting to do the right thing? Since September that Agba Jalingo has been charged, it is one story or the other. It's either the witnesses are not in court or the judge is not ready. They are not ready to proceed with the trial. And so even if the governor at some point or the other had assisted Agba Jalingo, that also showed that Agba Jalingo would not want to be blinded by mere assistance or friendship. That's why he came out and stood for the truth. And one thing that we want the governor to explain today is Agba Jalingo did allege to the fact that he mismanaged or took 500 million meant for microfinance bank. If you remember, DEJI, the allegation was that there was a petition from a staff of microfinance bank the publication ridiculed them, that it libeled them. And one was wondering, why will police be investigating a matter of libel? And now, all of a sudden, it has to do with toppling with Buhari's government. And yet, the governor is stylishly avoiding the cross of the matter, which is the mismanagement of 500 million meant for microfinance bank that is not answering to. So for me, these lies will not fly in the face of Nigerians. If he likes, let him cook other ones. They still will fall flat on their face.
And it's quite a shame that the governor would say some of the things he said there, especially when he ought to have known that people generally know what actually transpired. And it's quite unfair that, Jalingo has been kept in prison now for, I don't want to use correctional center now, that he's been kept in prison now for since August. And that's really quite unfair.
But you see, DEJI, the unfortunate part of it is that, like I said, these are supposed to be leaders. These are supposed to be people we should look up to. But who would come and lie from both sides of their mouths and then pretend to be leaders? People who would criticize others but would not want to be criticized. I told you what happened once. You remember also when Agba Jalingo also was praising this same governor to high heavens. Oh, that the governor has come with agriculture reformation and the rest, the super highway, but when the governor slipped, he also reported it that, look, this governor, you need to account for 500 million. When you did the right thing, we gave you thumbs up. And now that, money is missing, we need to also give you knocks. So in all of this, I salute the courage of Agba Jalingo, and I believe that time will come very soon. We shall all sing the song of victory with him. And the names of people like Ben Ayade will go down in history with ignominy. And anytime that name is mentioned anywhere in the world, people will remember him for the dictator that he is as a governor. And he can try to lie or cover truth no matter how much he tries. But Nigerians know the truth. Nigerians are aware. But I think the PDP, this party that are protesting everywhere now and going to embassies and calling on the demonstrating over Supreme Court judgment, this PDP should call him to order, because it was easy to criticize the government of Muhammadu Buhari for incarceration of Sowore, and we all shouted and we called the names of the president out, and now the DSS have done the right thing. But the PDP also should show in criticizing APC that they are better than APC by calling their governor to order to also do the right thing and wash his hands off the matter and let the proper thing be done and let Agba Jalingo be released unconditionally. And until they do that, no matter how much they try as a party to try to give alternative, the case of Agba Jalingo is still going to hang over them and in their head, and their party and the governor from their party as a sour thumb in the mouth. And I don't think that is what they would want Nigerians to hear. Because anytime they call on the case of how dictatorial the president of Nigeria is, people are also going to remind them, look at what the governor is doing in Calabar. And so that is why I think it is time for them now to prevail on their party member, Governor Ayade, to allow Agba Jalingo go unconditionally. All of this is lies cannot stand.
All right. Thank you very much, Liberal Shoma, for joining us on the program. And it's on that note we end the program this week. We thank you very much for watching. But if you want to see this program again and lots more, just go to our website, TV360Nigeria.com. You'll find this program and lots more there. You can also follow the conversation on our various social media platforms. Thank you once again for watching. I'm DEJI. I'll see you again next week.